Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star 2 origin continent based on novel. So let's start. Dream Flower Tower. Besides Luo Feng and Juyu, two esteemed guests, there are two other distinguished guests tonight. Sir the Novelier.net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Two figures looked out through the palace doors to the outside, noticing Luo Feng and Juyu flying over from a distance. That must be Juyu and Luo He, the man with blue hair exclaimed. Luo, his name is often heard these days. He single-handedly destroyed a Dark Forces faction, killing the Blood Python Association leader. A truly remarkable feat. It's just a Dark Forces faction, after all, another young man in a purple robe scoffed. 19 Dark Forces factions, they sound formidable in name. But don't they have to bow their heads obediently before our 5 great families? Most of the cosmic sand they earn has to be offered to our families. Brother Meiwu, our family is strong, but in terms of individual strength, Lord Luo he is much stronger than we are, the blue-haired man said. Brother Jiang, don't flatter those idlers, Meiwu Chi said indifferently. Even if they have intelligence, and occasionally fortune brings them substantial strength, each step forward is extremely difficult for them. Top-tier inheritances, precious resources, mentors' guidance, they have to fight for every single opportunity. How can they compare with the descendants of our great clans? These resources are ours from birth. The blue-haired man gave a self-deprecating smile and raised his glass. Born with abundant resources, we barely become eternal true gods. In terms of talent, we are far from the likes of Luo He and Zhu Hu. They still have the hope of challenging the primal chaos overlord, while we can't see even a glimmer of hope. The limit of the bloodline path is the primal chaos overlord. We must be very strong in every aspect, and that hope is beyond us, Meiwu Chi said with a laugh, but for the likes of Luo He and Zhu Hu, even risking their lives is in vain. Becoming a primal chaos overlord from an eternal true god is indeed very difficult, the blue-haired man admitted. In the entire land of origin, there are not many primal chaos overlords, and places like the Flame Wind Ancient Country and Thunder Ancient Country, along with some terrifying forces, are better at nurturing strong individuals and are more likely to produce a primal chaos overlord. In the public eye, the probability of a commoner becoming a primal chaos overlord is absurdly low. In the land of origin, we of the royal family and the descendants of the primal chaos clans are born high above. Even when fighting to the death with Sha Kingdom's forces, it is the so-called powerful eternal true gods like Luo He and Zhu Hu who are fighting on the front lines. If we win, we continue to rule Huyang City. If we lose, at worst we leave Huyang City, Meiwu Chi laughed heartily. Our primal chaos clan has also produced a primal chaos overlord, who props up the clan, the blue-haired man said. Luo He, Zhu Hu, and these powerful eternal true gods, they all go to fight to the death. With many top eternal true gods weathered by such life and death challenges, ultimately new primal chaos overlords will rise. But we will never have that opportunity. We have no hope, but they are the ones running out of life, Meiwu Chi laughed uproariously. I've seen far too many of these powerful eternal true gods fall. Luo Feng and Juyu took their seats, while some of the servants they brought sat in a corner. While listening to Araya's illusionary melody, Luo Feng naturally used the Lai Yuan techniques, 7 emotions of heart refining technique, thoroughly immersing himself in it. Although he usually maintained the Great Destruction heart refining technique, to toughen his will, occasionally practicing the 7 emotions of heart refining technique, had a different flavor. This Luo, he really enjoys Araya's illusionary melody. No wonder he fell out with the Blood Python Association over this little musician, Juyu observed from the side. After all, as an eternal true god, he wasn't much affected by the illusionary melody. But with Luo Feng closing his eyes and fully indulging in it, it wasn't good for him to speak. When the performance was over. Excellent, 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 Luo Feng opened his eyes. His cultivation journey had naturally left him with many regrets, but in the illusory realm, he could make up for them. The emotional stimulation was extremely intense. Supreme, you flatter me, thought Araya, feeling very grateful for Luo Feng's importance. Naturally, she performed with all her heart. Luo Feng's esteem had caused her value in Dream Flower Tower to surge, with her performance fee being a full 10 times what it used to be. And there was no one daring to harass her either. Even the Thousand Leaves Vine clan, backing her, had much easier days within Huyang City. Apparently no force wished to become the next Blood Python Association. You've made significant progress, keep it up, Luo Feng smiled and said. With the assistance of the 7 emotions of heart refining technique, the strength of Araya's illusionary melody was indeed very suitable. Yes, Araya will take her leave, the little musician respectfully withdrew. Zhu watched the scene and said with a laugh, Brother Luo, he is indeed benevolent, taking such good care of a mere little musician. Ha 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 ha, Luo Feng laughed. I was immersed in that illusionary melody just now, neglecting Brother Zhu Yu. I was also enjoying the illusionary melody, Zhu Yu said. Brother Luo he, how well do you understand Huyang City? Only a superficial knowledge, Luo Feng replied. Shang Qianyang had given him an overview of all the forces in Huyang City, including introductions to a large number of eternal true gods, which was all basic information. Detailed intelligence, especially on an individual eternal true god, was extremely expensive. Brother Luo he, after all, has been in Huyang City for only a little more than a century. It's still a short time, Zhu Yu said. Give it time, and naturally, you'll understand a lot of the secrets. I haven't been in Huyang City for long, and have only had a conflict with the Blood Python Association. I haven't crossed paths with other strong individuals, Luo Feng said. You indeed had only one conflict, but it resulted in the complete annihilation of the Blood Python Association. Zhu Yu smiled. Now the 5 great families and Sha Kingdom's forces are all eyeing you. Oh? Luo Feng listened attentively. The city owner's mansion and Sha Kingdom's forces are fiercely battling, but both sides will use other strong individuals to fight to the death for them, Zhu Yu said, offering some benefits to entice outside powerhouses to help as their common practice. Brother Luo he, with your strength, both sides will definitely want to win you over. My recommendation is, help out with the easy tasks to get some benefits. But when it comes to big trouble, it's better not to get involved, Zhu Yu said. Preserving oneself is more important. Makes sense, Luo Feng nodded. In the entire Huyang City, besides the city owner's mansion, the 5 great families, and the forces of the Sha Kingdom, there are still our third-party forces, Zhu Yu said quietly with a smile. In terms of the number of eternal true gods and the most top-notch powerhouses, it is our native families and local forces that are truly the strongest. Luo Feng nodded slightly, his stance seemingly relaxed, but he acknowledged the substantial overall strength, among which many hidden dragons and crouching tigers lay hidden. Brother Luo he, you are not a member of the 5 great families. Even if you align with them, you are just working for them. The Sha Kingdom's forces care even less about the lives of their henchmen. Zhu Yu looked at Luo Feng. You were born to be on our side. There's truth in that, Luo Feng nodded. Zhu Yu laughed heartily upon hearing this. We are the true force to reckon with. What difference does it make to us native families and native forces, no matter who rules over Huyang City? To the godly king and primal chaos overlord, perhaps they care deeply about the loss of offerings. But for us, it's all the same, we still have to pay a hefty fee. So no matter how fiercely the city owner's mansion and the Sha Kingdom's forces fight, we all need to cherish our own lives. Zhu Yu shook his head. They have never cared about our life and death. Luo Feng nodded. Brother Zhu speaks wisely. As long as we are united enough, we will be the strongest force. Both the city owner's mansion and the Sha Kingdom's forces can only try to bribe us, but dare not coerce us, Zhu Yu said with evident confidence. Suddenly, a powerful disturbance faintly arose from the outside world. What's going on? Luo Feng and Zhu Yu looked through the hall doors, and saw that in the distant sky appeared a 3-sword sky-splitting beast, and riding on the surface of the beast was the leader of the Huyang Guard, Gao Wu Shui. Mei Wu Qi and Jiang Chengyu arrived at the entrance of the hall with some confusion, and upon seeing the mechanical flow secret treasure, 3-sword sky-splitting beast descending outside the grand hall, they sensed ill intentions. The Dream Flower Tower is a place of enjoyment, yet Commander Gao Wu has come with the 3-sword sky-splitting beast. Mei Wu Qi looked at Gao Wu Shui. Commander Gao Wu, what brings you here? Commander Gao Wu, come in and have a drink. The rest of the Huyang guards can rest alongside. My treat, the blue-haired man Jiang Chengyu said with a smile. Gao Wushui spoke coldly. Mei Wuqi, the Huyang Guard, has received evidence of your crime in capturing a large number of citizens of Huyang City, and of tormenting and murdering them. Now, you need to come with me to the Huyang Guard headquarters. The blue-haired man was shocked. However, Mei Wuqi's face darkened, and as his aura stirred, the night seemed to grow darker. He spoke hoarsely, Commander Gao Wu, I am Mei Wuqi of the Mei Wu family. Are you sure you want to arrest me? Isn't there some kind of misunderstanding? Jiang Chengyu also chimed in. It is my duty as a member of the Huyang Guard to arrest you, Gao Wushui said, looking at Mei Wuqi. Mei Wuqi, come with me. You rely on us, the 5 great families, but now you turn against us and bite the hand that feeds you. Mei Wuqi sneered. Gao Wushui, I'll report this to the city owner's mansion right now. I want to see how they deal with this. See a thoverfire.net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. How the city owner's mansion deals with me is a matter for the future. Now, you need to come with me, Gao Wushui said coldly. I am going to count to 3, and if you resist, I will have no choice but to take action by force. 3, 2, Gao Wushui did not waver. Boom. A deep purple serpentine exotic beast wove through the void and appeared out of nowhere above the Dreamflower Tower, causing many patrons of the establishment to exclaim in surprise. Luo Feng and Zhu Yu also watched all this from afar. Commander Gao Wu really is formidable. He's starting to arrest the eternal true gods of the 5 great families. The deep purple serpentine exotic beast descended slowly, and atop the beast appeared a figure in armor. Even royal descendants and descendants of the primal chaos clan must abide by the laws of the Yu Kingdom, Gao Wushui said coldly. This Mei Wuqi's sins are grievous. He has wrought havoc within Huyang City for many years, harming countless citizens, and his behavior outside Huyang City has been even more unrestrained. Just during the attack on Fangzhou City by the exotic beast horde, he kidnapped billions of citizens. The number of citizens he has tortured and killed tallies in the billions. How can such transgressions be taken lightly? You're slandering me. As a member of the 5 great families, how could I act so recklessly? Mei Wuqi retorted angrily. The armored figure chuckled lightly. It's often that rumors and slander against the members of the 5 great families occur. Commander Gao Wu is after all new to his role as the leader of the Huyang Guard and lacks experience. Whether it is slander, he first needs to come with me to the Huyang Guard headquarters. After we confirm the truth, a decision will be made, Gao Wushui said. The armored figure stood next to Mei Wuqi, with the serpentine exotic beast's figure behind him. Commander Gao Wu, all you need to do is submit the evidence to the city owner's mansion. They will naturally verify the truth of the evidence, and how to punish will also be decided by them. You need not intervene anymore. Gao Wushui had anticipated encountering significant resistance, but he hadn't expected that he wouldn't even be able to take the first step of taking Mei Wuqi away. Commander Gao Wu, there's no need for you to interfere with Mei Wuqi's matter any longer. Return immediately to the Huyang Guard headquarters and submit all the evidence of the crimes you've discovered, came an order from the city owner's mansion. Gao Wushui felt a chill in his heart and sighed inwardly. Even if I bring him back to the Huyang Guard headquarters, I'm afraid I won't be able to harm him in the least, Gao Wushui thought to himself. Without a verdict from the city owner's mansion, he dared not kill a member of the 5 great families who was an eternal true god. If he dared to do so, even his master, Mo Li Xiao, wouldn't be able to protect him. His experience in his youth indeed made him detest evil. But he would not accompany Mei Wuqi to the grave over it. I will submit the evidence, and I believe the city owner's mansion will deliver a fair punishment. Gao Wushui glanced at Mei Wuqi, then turned and flew into the 3-sword sky-splitting beast. Whoosh! The 3-sword sky-splitting beast immediately shot through the void and away. Ha ha ha, Mei Wuqi finally relaxed completely and started laughing. This Gao Wushui is such an idiot. He still wants to catch me. Luo Feng, watching all this from a distance, was somewhat surprised. Brother Zhu Yu, is what that Commander Gao Wu just said true? Fangzhou City was breached by a horde of exotic beasts, and countless citizens were captured by this Mei Wuqi. Luo Feng asked. His tormented and killed a countless number of citizens. This number indeed shocked Luo Feng. After all, the laws of Yu Kingdom were quite strict on the surface. It's indeed true. You'll know if you stay in Huyang City for a long time. Mei Wuqi is notoriously insane, Zhu Yu said. In his secret treasure, Sinful City, countless innocent citizens are imprisoned and tormented to death. Over the long years, it's indeed impossible to count. The 5 great families just let him be. Luo Feng frowned. The 5 great families can restrain many dark forces, and can be ruthless if someone crosses the line. But they can't be ruthless towards their own people, Zhu Yu shook his head. The insanity of Mei Wuqi has plenty of evidence. If you don't believe me, you can buy information from the Flame Wind Pavilion. Luo Feng was looking into the distance, where Mei Wuqi was talking and laughing with another leader of the Huyang Guard. I want to buy all the evidence of Mei Wuqi's crimes, Luo Feng said through the transmission token, contacting the Flame Wind Association's Dark Hall. All evidence of Mei Wuqi's crimes requires 1 cosmic sand, the Dark Hall responded. Purchase. After Luo Feng bought it, the Flame Wind Association's Dark Hall sent him the detailed evidence. This evidence turned Luo Feng's face cold. Mei Wuqi was even more mad than he had imagined. He was a total lunatic with an utterly twisted and maniacal heart, tormenting those innocent citizens to create sufficiently powerful twisted souls through torment and trampling. Using suffering to create strong twisted souls, according to the records of the Dark Hall of the Flame Wind Pavilion, he has 16 outstanding works. 16 true gods with tormented twisted souls and wills that match eternal true gods, Luo Feng said softly. He even once brought his works to show off in front of me, Zhu sighed. The Flame Wind Pavilion also has a bounty on him. Luo Feng found out about the bounty on Mei Wuqi. The bounty was merely 20,000 cosmic sands. It was probably someone who really disliked him who spent the cosmic sand to offer the bounty. Accept the mission, Luo Feng decided, taking on the task of assassinating Mei Wuqi. Forget about these things. There are so many dark matters on the land of origin, many of which we can do nothing about, Zhu Yu said. It's already not easy for our own families to survive. Luo Feng stood up. Brother Zhu Yu has family concerns, but I am unencumbered. If this matter is brought before me and I turn a blind eye, my heart won't be at peace. These filths ought to be wiped clean. With one step, Luo Feng, whoosh, had already left the hall and was heading straight for where Mei Wuqi was. This video will end here.